So the penny stocks I'm going to share with you guys today, you definitely want to have on your radar. The last ones we mentioned in our last video earlier this week have jumped up over 20% plus after the post, and also the technical levels, the news, everything following it back up to those levels was backed up with clarity, right? And that's what we do with 42 Vision, and that's what we do here on our channel to break down these opportunities as they're presenting themselves. Now, in today's volatility, our SPY bot sent out a bear indicator there in the pre-market going into the open. So if you trade the SPY or you trade options in general, you're definitely going to want to be connected and have these live updates because it sends it directly to the Discord. You could see it here on our SPY bot. It was sent out today at 9 a.m. Okay, and it lasted all the way dropping to 669 from up there at 667, almost nearly $8 of a drop, and put options went up over 200% plus, guys. And you can receive this clarity and edge as well and navigate through the markets within the volatility. Now, we can also see yesterday there was a pretty strong bull indicator that lasted all day, pushing it up from 674 all the way to 680. So we're looking for constant opportunities. Even if you missed the first run, right? This bear indicator, it was sitting flat there and it drops from 676 all the way down to 672. And it jumped back up as soon as the rejection was in and no bear indicator got canceled and it's still holding. Well, you had the support here of the day so far, 672, and as it was approaching it, if it broke it, there would be further acceleration, and that's what we saw, right? So that's what these opportunities are about. And it also sent out a home run opportunity here with Tesla. Now, the beginning of the part of the open and a few minutes after the open, it was pretty choppy. That bear to bull indicator there was slightly volatile, but we teach this over once you get connected in the videos, right? The step-by-step videos and the breakdowns. You want to look out and zoom out. And what happened? The bear indicator on the 15-minute was still holding. Even though it went higher, you had a bear indicator confirmation right before the open. So as soon as it breaks right back below 463.43, even though it jumped above it when it was pulling back, and you have the confirmation of the bear indicator on the 5-minute, on the 3-minute, and they're all aligning, like it popped up right here at the 462 level, sends that direct notification here at 10 a.m. on our charts and Discord. You could see it here accelerating from 462 to lows here of 438, right? So opportunities are presenting every single day and within the volatility. And to maximize with them, you gain access to these resources to apply the knowledge one has, right? And everything that you can learn through the process of using it and looking for those multiple confirmations and through the volatility by being equipped to 42 Vision, which you can gain access to. The link is down below in the description and top pinned comment. Well, you'll be connected and these resources will amplify, right, the decisions and your knowledge through the volatility, whether stocks are going up or going down, right? And markets are always moving, and you'll have that clarity and edge through the charts and stocks and markets. So, yeah, that is what we do. That is what we look for, and opportunities present themselves every day. Now, the first stock here on today's list that you want to have a watch on is MTC. Now, this is a stock that started running yesterday, right? From 43 cents all the way up to 68 and just broke right through $1. Okay. And today it presented a bull indicator. After hitting multiple dip areas, as we call it, of wire fed borders, it accelerated and did a full transition up to bright green bars. It never went to red bars on the way back down. No bear indicator popped up, and then it accelerated with strength with our bright green bars back to back, setting the tone of the trend, right? And that's what we do. We have our full transitions, right? The dip areas, as I call it, the rip areas of extreme strength of bright green bars, which means a complete transition up. And then we also do transitions down. We usually hit either red bars or Wirefoot borders to complete the transition to the downside before the next reversal. So it allows us to see the strengths of supports and resistance and the areas of exhaustion to the upside or downside, plus the confirmations of bull and bear indicators and inflow versus outflow, so we can clearly see the strength of trend. And you could see it there popping up on the screen. Some of the members' experiences using 42 Vision or following the bots or looking for those confirmations, navigating right through the volatility of the markets and charts, which you can gain access to and become part of. And we look forward to getting you connected and having you join us. So MTC is running here and back above $1. There's a little bit of mix of things here, in my opinion. The first thing is there's probably some shorts getting squeezed out of positions because these moves to the upside are pretty rampant and strong. Another thing too is we're starting a staircase effect. So right now it jumped up, it found support, it popped up, and we want it to find a support to do the next leg up or try to retest key resistance levels, because on the 5-minute it's back under a bear indicator here at 284, and then on the 15-minute it has not hit a bear indicator just yet. So it will be important for this bull indicator to hold. That's what I'm going to be watching here going into tomorrow, for that bull indicator to not get canceled on the 15-minute. Now, the stock got news here earlier at the end of October, right before the beginning of November, that it's going to have NASDAQ delisting determination regarding its minimum bid price deficiency. So stocks, when they're below $1, they end up getting delisted, right? Especially if they have done a lot of reverse splits or they've been below $1 and they don't want to do a reverse split and they've been stuck below it for some time. And when you zoom out, this stock has been below $1 for quite some time. Okay, we're talking about months, weeks. I mean, it's just been sitting around 90 cents, 70 cents. The highest it went was back to 174 on one run, right, back in September 10th. But other than that, it's been below. And it hit a low down here of 26 cents. And we're up here above 260. That's a 10x move. But the whole thing that's going on here is just yesterday, right? Just after the open, the lows at 38 cents. This has ran up to $3, nearly 10xing from those lows yesterday. And today it jumped up from 126 to highs up here of 380. And that's right there, nearly almost a 3x move. And now we have clear levels to not ignore. Again, this is not financial advice. Penny stocks are very risky. Okay, I'm just sharing my opinions alone, and we're looking for opportunities every single day and through these videos to educate you, right? And educate ourselves every time through new experiences on the behavior of these stocks, because stocks are moving for a reason, and there's a lot going on when it comes to momentum and why. So right now, I just shared with you guys, it's the delisting news. It got back above $1. It may get news soon in the next few days or in the next week that may change, or this is just euphoria before the delisting, and some shorts are even getting squeezed out of their positions. So we have key levels to not ignore. The first thing is we have a bear indicator on the 15-minute to possibly appear if this 5-minute rolls over. And that's the first thing I would not ignore, but it hasn't happened. The lowest we've went so far is 228. No bear indicator, and the bull indicator that popped up today was at 170. So we want to see this stay above 220, because that's the bear indicator of the pre-market, and it was the resistance of the pre-market. So 228, 220, I would not ignore it. We're sitting at 272. If that gets broken through, $2 will be very crucial. And then where the bull indicator popped up of 170, I'll be watching if a bear indicator pops up or not. And if it doesn't, we really want the bulls to reappear going into tomorrow's pre-market and trading day. Now, to the upside, if the momentum continues and we can get multiple bull indicators on the lower time frames and cancel this one here from 285, well, the first level will be $3, and above that comes $3.50, and then all the way up to the highs of $3.87 with the possible breakout north of $4. These are some of the highest levels that we've seen this stock hit when we look at these charts. in quite some time. If we zoom out, we are up here near some clear resistance levels, and we're above a historical one at 255. So again, 250 will be crucial to stay above. And we hit north of another resistance of 350 briefly today, hitting 380s. So 350 will be crucial, then 380 at the recent high. And if that can get broken through, there is a large gap here to fill and retest. And we're talking about up towards the $4 range, $5 range, and we'll have to reassess then. But right now, there's multiple large time frames with bull indicators. The 1 hour, you have the 30-minute, and you have the 15-minute. We want those to still hold, and that's what I'm going to be looking at going into tomorrow, going into these support levels, and then seeing if we can get a continuation and bounce. And if the 3-minute and 5-minute can align, something similar to what happened this morning at around the 129 level, a bull indicator popped up, and then also the 5-minute popped up here around 132, and that lasted all the way up to the strength of $3 plus. That's what we look for with 42 Vision. And if we can get the lower time frames to align, well, we have the 15-minute, the 30-minute, and the 1 hour all under bull indicators. And we want to see those transitions start back to the upside. So that's what I'm going to be watching on this one going into tomorrow. Now, this penny stock is Energies Group Limited. This stock had a tremendous overreaction, okay? And again, these penny stocks are very, very risky. And you could just see this collapse. I mean, it's all the way back down to levels from back in August. And there's a clear support down here. And it's not the first time it does this. It did it before. It fell from $8 all the way down to $1.60. And there's a clear support here at $2 to not be ignored because it jumped around the $2 area today. Now, this is the 15-minute. And we want to zoom in because this is where it gets interesting. The 3-minute sent out a bull indicator at around 312. And again, this is really where 42 Vision gives us that edge because in that overreaction, this was all the dip area, but the momentum really didn't start until that bull indicator was confirmed, and it jumped up from 348 to highs here of 527. It lasted briefly, but that was a really strong move there of nice 20 to 30% within about an hour. So it's back under a bear indicator right now on the lower time frames. And again, penny stocks are very risky. We're looking for those confirmations, and that's the edge that 42 Vision brings. You apply the knowledge that you've learned, the knowledge that you obtain from the videos that we break down, the step-by-step information and everything that we go ahead and break down for you once you're connected to simplify your charting experience and fill you up with more knowledge on even how to apply 42 Vision strategies to maximize within volatilities of the markets and gain that edge, right? This is more knowledge and more power to the traders. So that's what we want, and that's what we look for every day. So this is not something to be touched if it goes back towards $2.50, $3. I would just completely ignore this. And that's my opinion, not financial advice. Again, this is just me sharing how to approach this. We're just going ahead and looking at information and opportunities that are presenting themselves in the markets and then trying to maximize upon that reaction. So, yeah, I'm just looking at this and saying, okay, if it holds $3, okay, cool. How is it acting there? Could the bulls reappear or will it break down? Anything below $3, $2.50, I would just ignore this because it took quite some time back in the history of the chart for it to start moving back up. So today it gave a nice run from 230 to highs here of 520. That was almost a total of 100% there plus. But from these levels, well, actually it was actually a 100% plus move there. But from these levels where the bull indicator popped up, it was a nice 20-30% plus move. And it may present another run, an opportunity, if things were to change. So what's the first thing I'll be looking for? This 3-minute definitely has to switch over to a bull indicator. This 5-minute definitely has to show a bull indicator. But the most important one for momentum to really be backed up and not be ignored, it is the 15-minute. This cancellation of the 15-minute up here needs to get canceled, and that's what I'm going to be watching going into tomorrow and the rest of this week. Okay? It's not always about just, oh, I found something, I'm going to make a move. It's about, okay, looking for the setup, looking for the strategy, looking for the confirmation, and the more aware you are ahead of time, the more prepared one can be. At least that's how I look at it, right? That's how I approach it. So now I know that this overreaction happened. I know that it had a run. And I also can zoom out and look at how it's reacted in the past, that when it fell, it came back up. And you know, even from that zigzagging for a few days, it went from 274 to a high up here of 350. It still presented an opportunity. Then it had another sharp drop. That's something to not be ignored. And then it jumped up from around 165 back to 260, another nice 30% plus move. But when this stock gets a bull indicator on the 15-minute, that's where things may change for this. But right now, the 3-minute and the 5-minute are under bear indicators, and all the large time frames are bearish. Okay, so nothing's really changing for this stock of having any real confirmation of a run or retest of resistance levels, because this hasn't changed. That's also another way to look at how 42 vision allows you to avoid something or see why it's happening, right? Because this bear indicator never got canceled. The 15-minute never got canceled. So this run here was not even justifiable in the bigger picture. But for the volatility of the 3-minute and 5-minute, it presented an opportunity. So it all comes down to what is your approach and what are you looking for. So I'll be looking for those bull indicators to pop back up on the 3-minute and 5-minute. I'll be looking to see if volume can come into this stock, because today's volume was 10 million. The average volume was 675. So we definitely want volume in the millions to go ahead and justify anything. And I'm going to be watching the inflow versus outflows if they start picking up, which you get connected to as well once you join the Discord and Patreon, and the 42 vision indicators that you get connected with. You can actually see the midpoint, and when you're below it, outflows are dominating. When you're above it, inflows are dominating. So this may have happened and it ran, but outflows were still dominating. We were probably below the midpoint, and that's why it fell down. For this move to continue and the trend to be strong, something like, you know, a nice run like this one right here, back to back, like jumping from $7 to $9, just for an example, inflows need to cross the midpoint and be above it, and then it would compound. Just like what MTC was doing today and yesterday. Those inflows are dominating. So I'm going to be looking for a possibility of inflows picking up on this one. So the support, $3, $2.50. I want to see how the bulls react in that area. If it just stays below it or falls below $2.50, I'm just going to ignore this one, and I'll have it there to just see what's going on with it. And if there's any multiple confirmations at some point of volume and momentum and strength of trend, well, then it may present an opportunity, because retests and gaps to fill to the upside do exist when it happens. Now, if inflows pick up, we get bull indicators on the 3-minute, on the 5-minute, and we can get one on the 15-minute. The first resistance is up at 450, and then up at 550, and then the gap fill to first retest and retrace to is 664. So these are the stocks I'll be watching, the levels I'll be watching. Again, if you like this type of video and you want to know about these stocks early on, check out the link down below in the description and top pinned comment. Join us and get connected to the 42 vision indicators to gain that edge. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss a single video, and you can be up to date with our next video once I release it. Share it with the friends so they know about this as well. And as always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.